Elements within that are also fighting me, who are also benefiting from the system. And that is the greatest problem we have. And they are just pretending. And I will flush those elements out and send them to ICPC to handle them, because nobody can hold this country to ransom. So I'm giving them the last chance to conform to what will help Mr. President to reset the country. So this is the distance. And then we are also leveraging on the contracts we signed. It's 14 days we are going to give notice. I've had more than 10 different meetings with contractors where we discuss this. We developed the design. We even developed the cost of doing concrete from the first principle. How much is cement? And the cement factories, the Dangote, the Bua, they have agreed to give special discount to our contractors who are going to engage on concrete road pavement. And many contractors are already doing it. Not all the contractors are in this gang up. Many contractors have come to sign addendum doing the road pavement. Those who are meeting are going to be losers. And before them, they will see that we do the job and we will do it very well. Yes? No. We inherited 18,897 kilometers of road, worth 14 trillion. There are funding, sources of 5.1 trillion. So we have a funding gap of 6 trillion. It's going to come from Mr. President ingenuity. He will figure it out. You are just asking a question for you have, it's a premeditated mind. Because I have explained myself here, and I've told you that asphalt inflection is on a geometrical progression, whereas that of, what is it called, concrete is on arithmetical progression. And there are so many advantages. We should grow our economy. Why do we need to import bitumen when everything we have is local? And there are a lot of advantages. What is my reach? Okay, even if taking it for that, I want to increase the local production of cement. Is it not growing the economy? Is it not what you are saying? Is it not what the economics principles are talking about? Why do you import when you can leverage on what you have? So what is the growing the distance of cement distance? Sometimes people just look at the dark side of it without this thing. Okay. We are not saying that there should be no asphalt, but asphalt, agree with us that your variation is going to be limited to 5% throughout the life of your project. That's all we are saying. And you guarantee that when you build this project, you are a very good contractor. You guarantee that it will last 15 years. And let me tell you something. In an international bidding document, and of course local one, if you're a contractor and you have a contract, the bidding document requires that you have gone to site. You've satisfied yourself with the conditions of the site. The geotechnical condition, the physical condition, the flood level, everything about that. You've made yourself properly acquainted. And if there are things that you observe that were not there, you have to bid for it in the distance. And these are part of the technical and commercial evaluation. So people get to site and say, oh, the site condition have changed. And they begin to increase the price of this. It will not happen under me. It's your responsibility to have checked and even use your big company, as you quoted, to check the soil condition and so on and so forth. Good evening, gentlemen of the press. I came to Villa to see Mr. President to discuss about road infrastructure. And I want to thank God because Mr. President approved all my requests. And this request are requests that we renew the hopes of Nigerians on our road sector development. The approvals will rejuvenate proper road construction. But let me clarify a number of issues, especially for the benefit of Nigerians and our stakeholders. There have been a kind of campaign by some quick fix contractors and some elements, within, who do not wish us well, who want us to continue with the old order. But we can't continue to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. The truth is that our roads are not good. The truth is that the past government earmarked a number of roads which Mr. President inherited. Close to, it's about 18,897 kilometers of road, totaling 14 trillions. And by the mechanism of funding, by the ingenuity of our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are sure of funding of about 5.1 trillion, then leaving 6 trillion gaps. And this 6 trillion funding gap is as at May 29th, 2023. And so if we go by the level of augmentation and price increases, which is one of the basis of our fight, if there is anything like fight, is that we don't have this 6 trillion to complete this project based on what we inherited. And if we allow the escalation, both in terms of scope and in terms of variation on price, then we are very sure that we will not be able to complete even 20% of the present route going on. And I want to thank Mr. President very highly. He's a man that is committed to change things in this country. Any other president would have come and said, oh, let me start my own projects. But no, he has not started any new project. He's committed to the completion of this 18,897 kilometers of road. And I want to thank him. It shows that governance is continuity, and it shows that it's all about the welfare of the people. And so where we are now is a fight that if you want to do asphalt work, nobody has told contractors not to do asphalt work, but there are conditions. Nigerians are witnesses to the failure of asphalt, especially in the north central part of this country and the entire southern part of this country. And the reason is not far-fetched. We have a lot of rainfall in these locations. We have very high underground water. And so asphalt definitely is a big problem. But if you insist you want to do asphalt, not a problem. But the conditions are that you will guarantee Nigerians that when you finish this asphalt road job, which you are very sure of, it will not fail within at least 15 years. The design shelf life is 20 years, but assure us in writing from a reputable insurance company and from your own company that this road will not fail within 15 years. We are witnesses to see all the roads constructed from Warri to Bayelsa to Port Harcourt, East-West Road. They have completely failed. They are constructed on asphalt. Sometimes they construct this road below the floodplain. And so that is number one. Number two, when I came on board as minister, the cost of bitumen was 576,000 per ton. Today, the cost of bitumen, the same bitumen, within 6 weeks, is 1 million per ton. And for you to increase any project, it has to go to the Bureau of Public Procurement, and it has to also come to FEC, Federal Executive Council. And so with this kind of mechanism on the volatility of the international oil market, which has the consequences on the asphalt, because it's a byproduct of refinery, and also the dollar pressure, the pressure on the naira, we are saying if you are doing asphalt, please let us have a contract, so that you will not vary the contract beyond 5%, which is what is allowed in the contract. So, and you are not going to import adulterated bitumen. Why is it that when you bring bitumen here, you are putting modifier, enhancer, this and that? The question is, in overseas, do they put all these things? So why would you allow adulterated bitumen, and then you come here, you say you are putting modifier, And we are witnesses that in the 50s, the road constructed on asphalt in the 50s were much more durable than what we witness today. So this is all that we are saying. We are not saying people should not, construct roads on asphalt. But if Nigerians are saying they should not have value for their money, the road should be continue to be constructed every year, the same road, then it's very unfortunate. And that is what my ministry is fighting. And we are ready and very courageous to defend this. Our land that is gang up by contractors, but there is no going back. And Mr. President is backing this position. We are offering alternative. And what is the alternative? The alternative is what High Tech is doing in Lagos with Dangote. The alternative is for you to go to Apapa Oshodi Expressway and see what they are doing on concrete. Every day you have over 500 static loads from the wharf loaded on that road. You will not see any crack. No asphalt work, no matter who did it, can sustain that. And so we are saying that concrete is very friendly with water. And so we want you, contractor, to have an alternative. There is a catalyst in the use of concrete pavement. It will create jobs for our people. Everything about the construction is local. 10 manufacturers of cement have indicated interest to build cement factories. That is good for economy. It will reduce pressure on the naira. The road is going to be much more durable, and some people say it's more expensive. It's not more expensive. Some people put even 3 binders on their road construction, and yet the roads will fail. So this is the alternative we are offering, and it's not by force. And clause 51 of the general conditions of contract, which form part of the contract we sign with the contractors, allows us to do this. And that clause says that the employer, which is Mr. President, represented by the Honorable Minister for Works, shall have the powers, the legal rights, the liberty to change the quality of an ongoing contract, to change the quantity, to change the scope, to change the quality. And this is what we are leveraging on to do. And I want Nigerians to support that our roads should be constructed on concrete. And of course, it's going to bring a lot of our local contractors to come and compete and create jobs and reduce capital flight. There is no amount of gang up within and outside that is going to change this. So far, we are fighting for the interests of the people, backed by God and approved by Mr. President. There is no going back. I need the support of Nigerians on this renewed hope on our road sector. If you go from here to Lokoja, to Benin, to Warri, there are no roads. You see queues by tanker drivers. I got a warning letter from Nupeng threatening to down, their services if the roads in Warri, Benin, Port Harcourt are not fixed. We have directed the contractors to go and start meaningful work. After 14 days, as allowed in the contract, any contractor that fails to be on site doing permanent work will have his contract terminated. That's what the law says. And I want to assure contractors that our local people can do this work and do it very well. So there is no need of meeting, because the contracts were signed individually. And so if you are meeting to present a common front to frighten me with a very high cost of concrete cost, it's a waste of time, because you all have concrete cost in your bills you signed. So what I do is to come and combine your concrete cost and your reinforcement cost and give you a cost for placement. And that's what the contract allows. I want Nigerians to understand what is going on, and I won't stop shouting this. There is no secrecy. It is taxpayers' money, and Mr. President wants to reset this country. He wants to make a difference. And you know that road is everything in this country. It reduces kidnapping. It creates jobs. It creates economic activities. It increases the GDP of the country and that of the states. It helps in agriculture, in education, everything. If you cannot interact, then there is no growth. And so this is very important. And we are going to do everything to get this done. And let me also announce to Nigerians that Mr. President is a listening president. All the intervention we requested in our East-West Road, in Benin, Sapele Road, in Lokoja, in Shandam, Lafia, a bridge that got broken, in the two bridges in Enugu that got broken, in Owerri on the Sha Road that got broken at 2 points, the Tom Mainland Bridge resurfacing, and the underdeck work. I can't finish all. They have all been approved by Mr. President. So we have set up task force in all the locations where this approval were made by Mr. President to ensure that within 3 months we conclude all that is needed based on the approval. And let me also announce that we have task force that will supervise contractors all the way from Lokoja to Benin, to Warri, to Bayelsa, to River State, and the Cross River. And we are going to also do the same thing as the time goes on. We are also deploying consultants to supervise our routes. Our engineers will also be on site to learn from the experience of these consultants. Mr. President has also given approval. And that has been the practice before. When the consultant now value work, then the engineers of the ministry will now check what they have done. So there are checks and balances. You cannot originate the work, do the BEME, do the drawing, be the supervisor, prepare bill of quantities, and then give approval. There must be checks and balances. We have to bring the private sector into our road sector. In the task force we set up, we also included journalists, so that journalists will see what we are doing. All cars must be face up. And that is what the timing requires. That's what renewed Hope Agenda requires. These are all that I discussed with Mr. President, and I got approvals. And I need to also warn contractors. There are some contractors that have 20 jobs, and they have 2 equipment on site. It can no longer be the same. We have minimum requirement of equipment on site for a particular work. And if you don't have it, you will leave the site. Nobody can hold this country to ransom. Nobody. Our local contractors are advised to wake up. I did it in Ebonyi State. Every civil servant became an engineer. Our stakeholders became an engineer. We can do it again and again and again. But we welcome our expatriate contractors. We want them to respect us, to respect our culture. Because what is being done here cannot be done outside this country. They have to respect us. They have to respect the culture of this country. They have to respect the laws of the country. Many of the contractors that NMPC paid have not gone to site. Some got 33 billion. They have not been to site. And I want the stakeholders to know that it's about our country. It's about our children. And this is very important. I want them to buy into this position. A lot of them are already in support of what Mr. President is doing in the direction of our road sector. So this is what I discussed with Mr. President, and I'm very happy that I got all my approvals.